Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Color X Malice in Yanagi's route. And in the last part, we failed trigger mode, and we got a bad ending. We got bad ending, well, technically bad ending number 1, but it is our third bad ending. So now we're going to attempt to pass trigger mode, unlike in Sadaishi's route where I failed it after skipping through a bunch of shit. Anyway, so I'm just going to skip through this because we already read that. So, all right, well, anyway. And this is the police. Drop your weapon and release the hostage. If you have any demands, we will listen. There must be some reason you're doing this. Please tell me what it is. I know I skipped 2 lines, but we've already read them, so. You're lying! The police have never listened to a word I've said. Not even once. If you pull that trigger, you'll have crossed a line that you can't return over. Please, don't lose yourself like this. Listen to me before you do something you'll regret forever. And there's still time to avoid this mistake. But... Betraying his uncertainty, the gunman's muzzle strayed from the hostage's temple. Now! Okay. This should have been where we saved, but anyway. Seizing on the chance, I raised my pistol. Failure was not an option. Okay, fuck. Failure is not an option, Spacey. Okay, we did good. Alright. Yanagi's shot accurately struck the assailant's gun. Like, damn. You a damn good shot, motherfucker. As soon as the weapon was knocked clear of the woman, I barreled in like a cannonball and secured the hostage. It was nice. I could see her like, bam, knocking him down. This is awesome. The mental image I have of that. Are you okay? Yes. Damn you. Hey, Yanagi. Freeze. Eep. It's about time it's not us going, aye, or yeep, or whatever. Eek. No, he's eep. I'm okay with a man eeping. I'm tired of us having to do it. We never did it in this game, but, you know. With Yanagi's pistol trained on him, the gunman settled down immediately. It seemed like the gun he was previously holding was his only weapon. We saved them. Both of them were unhurt, and no one else seemed to be seriously injured. Police! Let us through! We heard gunshots. Is anybody hurt? Realizing that the police had arrived, all the strength drained from my body. But until the hostage was in their protection, I couldn't let my guard down. Hey, are you okay? Yes, the hostage is safe. She shouldn't be hurt, but you should call for a medical transport just to be safe. Got it. You're safe now, miss. Can you stand? Yes. I watched the woman leave, chaperoned by the officers. She must be regretting her past actions. I desperately wanted to believe that. She probably doesn't even, like, she did her all these things, but she probably doesn't even know why that guy attacked her. You know what I'm saying? Like, did he say why? The caller told us, but... Yanagi? Morioka? Morioka had arrived on the scene as well. He and Yanagi were watching each other. Sexy stare down. Yeah, I like this. Morioka didn't seem to find anything wrong with what had happened here. I want the details later. Yes, sir. With that, Morioka mingled with the rest of the investigators. The surprised suspect was instantly surrounded by officers. Nothing happened. Coming to my senses, I idly touched my collar. Didn't react. I sat down in a heap. I didn't feel like I could stand anymore. Are you all right? I suppose I have no right to ask that, do I? Yanagi? Yanagi flashed a self-derisive smile and slowly sat down. He leaned against my back. His broad back touched mine. It was warm. CG. I need a CG of this shit. Yes, motherfucker. Ah, yeah. Oh, look at how precious he is. Like, even when he's smiling and looks happy, there's, like, the sexy in his eyes. Like, I don't know what they... Like, she, like, looks exhausted and, like, what the fuck? And he's like, I'm so fine. Like, I don't know what it is. My hands are trembling again. I'm pathetic. Is he still holding his gun? He totally is. Put it away, Jesus. I don't think you're pathetic. You saved everyone involved, didn't you? He had saved both the suspect and hostage. It's all because of you. Huh? I didn't do anything. I can only shoot because you were here. And you gave me the courage to do it. If not for you, I would have surely failed. Again. So, I was helpful? You were far more than helpful. You didn't just save those 2 people. You saved me, too. I would have saved you even if you had shot the guy, but then I would have died, so it would have all sucked. It really is pathetic. I say I want to protect them all. I talk big but freeze in the clutch. Once I think about losing anyone, I tense up. It's almost like a curse. I felt like I'd never be able to overcome my flaws. But you told me that we could save them. And there was no point if I didn't do it myself. You might have done it on your own, but you trusted me to act. And because I trusted you, I was finally able to shoot. I'm glad you were with me. Oh, I love you too, Yanagi. How can I describe the way Yanagi's words made me feel? I doubt anyone would truly understand. Oh, now she's like, I don't know how to deal with this. That's great to hear. The release of tension made my tears flow. I had been terrified. I'd never fired my gun in the field before. The thought of me directly hurting someone had scared me so badly I trembled, but we are really fucking good with aim. I'm sure Yanagi's always been grappling with that same fear. You were incredible. You're truly strong. That isn't true. I was absolutely terrified earlier. I'm still pretty embarrassed. You didn't run even though you were scared. Frankly, I was so wrapped up in my own guilt that I couldn't face you. I tried to run from you. I didn't want to see you terrified of me again. You trusted me and tried to get closer and engage with me, but instead I just pushed you away. I'm sorry. I firmly shook my head in reply. There was no need for him to apologize. But you've always been trying your hardest, always looking forward. And even when I recalled my past, you spurred me forward. Thank you for believing in me. Yanagi, my feelings had gotten through to him. Yanagi understood what I wanted to say. No matter what happened in your past, I trust you. I want to trust the you I know right now. Would you mind if I stayed by your side from now on? You win. I can't beat you. Yanagi chuckled at my timid question. His laughter was refreshing. He's like, I pushed you away because I didn't want you to be scared, but I love you, Spacey. I love you too, Yanagi! All right. Stay with me from now on. You're my partner. Thank you. My vision blurred. I couldn't stop the tears of happiness. Yanagi had acknowledged me. He recognized me as his partner. Rather, it'd be best if you stayed with me. You'll get stronger that way. Hold on. Sorry, I had to sneeze and take my allergy pill. Okay. The words I dearly hoped to hear from him struck my chest. It was as if the words alone were enough to make me stronger. Oh, I earned a trophy. A trophy. Trophy. Shackles. Interesting. Did something happen? Shouldn't I be asking you that? You are letting Zero commit a lot of violence. I don't think there's any controlling Zero now. This isn't the future that you actually wished for. Why are you so concerned about it? This is unlike you, number 14. Number 14. Kageyuki Tsudaishi's name in Adonis. Agents of Adonis are referred to by number and do not have a real name. Kageyuki Tsuraishi is a fake name given to him for his life outside in society. He was fucking brainwashed as a child. This hurts so bad. Well, I've known you for a long time, and I've been out in the world for quite a while. It is a good chance to learn about emotion. You, who should be a doll, speak of emotion. This is in regards to IG Yanagi and his friends. That too, but I was more referring to you. Me? The ideals of the Adonis that I know don't involve indiscriminate murder. You personally wanted certain ideals realized, yet do you plan to just silently overlook Adonis becoming more and more warped? Are you really fine with this perversion of your justice? It hurts. It hurts seeing Tsudashi in the situation. It really does. But it's okay. We know the true Tsudashi. It's okay. In the man harem, it all will be all right. Good morning. Hey, morning. Did things get really bad yesterday? Yes. I was stuck at work the entire night. Stuck in debriefings, writing apology notes. It was the day after the hostage matter. I had the morning off today, so I'd stop by the office to check in. I had to write apology notes for stopping a hostage situation. Cool. I'd had to work all night long, so Mochita had been kind enough to give me the morning off. Yesterday was really tough. I thought the stress at the scene was intense, but once I got to the station, it continued. There's no way they won't try to figure out why I was even there in the first place. At Investigations HQ, they grilled me hard. I'm surprised I managed to survive it. They probably suspect you, don't they? Yes, but I made the excuse that I'd been patrolling a likely target area, even though I hadn't seen the Adonis statement. Nice. It worked, somehow. Though I don't think Morioka and Minagishi were completely sold on it. Of course not. HQ isn't made up entirely of morons. I know, right? But Yanagi was there too. I just kept repeating it no matter how many times and ways they ask, so I think I'm clear for now. I see. Stubbornness wins the day. It's true, but why do I get the feeling you're not exactly complimenting me? Oh, Hoshino. You're here already? Good morning, Yanagi. Just when I was puzzled by that comment, Yanagi returned to the office. Sorry for making you wait. Sorry for making you wait when I called you here. Don't worry about it. As Yanagi said, the reason I'd stopped by the office this morning is because he texted me, asking me to meet here. I had a feeling I knew what it would be about. Yanagi's past, which I learned of yesterday. But we'd probably discuss the details. I really wanted to know more about him now. Minamoto, Suzuka, sorry, but can we have some privacy for a bit? Sure. Got it, boss. Damn it. Just when it gets freaking cold outside. Watching Enomoto and Sasuzuka leave, I sat down on the sofa. It's a 5-story building with nobody else in it. Go to a different floor. Yanagi also took a seat right next to me. Oh, yay. Maybe I felt oddly anxious and self-conscious because he usually sat across from me. The people who put the collar on you seem to have thoroughly researched my past. Huh? I know about the crimes I committed as a juvenile, and not just the incident that you were a part of. There's little doubt that they know about my time with the police. What do you mean? When I was still employed, there was a suspect armed with a knife who took a hostage to use as a human shield. I arrived on the scene quickly that day, and I was ordered to negotiate with the suspect. I didn't know the personal circumstances of either criminal or hostage, but I devised a way to save them both. Oh god, did they both die? No, but then the order came over the radio. I was to take the suspect out. Still, I persisted with my negotiations. The suspect had come this far, so I figured there had to be a reason. I didn't want to take a life without knowing why, or even trying to know why. But the suspect got impatient and violent, so the special assault team on site converged on him. In the end, the suspect was killed. That sounds somewhat like yesterday's incident. Yeah, yesterday felt as if it was supposed to be a reenactment of that past incident. Probably! Yanagi was staring off into the distance. I mean, it's Adonis. Little by little, he began to tell the story of his past. He began to tell the story of his past. Yanagi, do you understand exactly what you've done? I ignored orders. That, you put lives at risk. If the SAT team had arrived even a moment later, the hostage could have died. HQ gave you the order to engage earlier. Why did you hesitate? Your training dictates that you should have put the hostage's life above everything else. You should know better. I know that lives take priority, but is that really limited only to the life of the victim? What? If a life more is a life more disposable simply because it belongs to a criminal? I don't know. I ended up thinking about what the suspect might be feeling as he died. Yanagi, not all lives are equal. Depending on the situation, some take priority. I've seen some shit, kid. You wouldn't understand. Ignore that, and you could sentence innocent people to their deaths. I know that. At least, I know it in my head. But my feelings reject that notion. I don't want to understand it. And if I can draw that line, if I can't draw that line, then I can't serve as a member of the police. That was when I made that realization. Crimes are evil. Assailants are evil. What if that's really true? If it's right to kill people who commit crimes? Why am I still alive? Well, I still had yet to find a satisfactory answer. The X-Day incidents began this year. Early on, I intuited that the motive of the X-Day incidents was vengeance. My past victims had crafted a plan to enact retribution against their former tormentors. These were the monthly X-Day crimes. Regardless of what happened in the past, revenge was no reason to take a life. Criminals must be judged by the law. These ghastly revenge crimes can't be overlooked. But at the same time, I want to know more about the criminals. Would they feel catharsis once they exacted revenge? Or wouldn't it just wound them more deeply? I considered a number of things like this, until I eventually came to a conclusion. If I started considering criminal circumstances, there'd be no end. That wasn't a detective's job. Then the August incident happened. Superintendent General, issue this policy to all investigators. Due to the serious and unprecedented nature of these crimes, special measures have been enacted. Any criminal caught while performing any act related to X-Day is to be shot on sight. This may endanger the lives of victims, and you plan to deal with this increased risk. These incidents are considered special cases. Even if victims are at risk, officers are to shoot without hesitation. Dude, you're kind of a dick. Hesitation could just create more victims, and if this spreads, it'll be problematic. This is for the greater good. So the brass is panicking at the loss of public trust in the police, eh? I can't do the voices anymore. I'm like breaking. Anyway. Saraishi, do you think this was done for personal amusement? I highly doubt it. This wasn't indiscriminate murder either. The victims all played an online game. I knew it. I think they're justified. These are crimes based on faith, I guess. Probably. And then, for both the victims and assailants, I have to stop this. And with these new directives, I can't do that and stay in the police. And then in late August, shortly before the Shinjuku quarantine went into effect, I submitted my resignation. I hate to admit it, but it's all just words. You could call it idiotic naivety. The person on the collar said this too. It's difficult to stop all crime. For the same reason, it's also impossible to eliminate all victims. Still, even if it was just to satisfy my own ego, I couldn't draw that line in the sand. Yanagi, his past experiences were much heavier than I'd expected. But what's important is that he hasn't given up on his wish. Even if they were just lofty ideals, I wanted to follow his dreams. I wanted to realize them. I was still a cop, but I shared his desire to help all suffering people. The thing is, I think I've gotten over it a bit thanks to you. Huh? Me? Yeah. Yanagi muttered, seeming a little bit more cheerful than he was earlier. Fucking A, just kiss me. We're in chapter 5, son of a bitch. Come on, we're getting close. We're getting close to the you need to kiss me time. And I can't back up my lofty rhetoric with actions, and then they're meaningless. A nice fairy tale with no real impact. If I want to protect everything, I need to have the courage to fire when I have to protect people. If I avert my eyes when action is needed, then I'm just running from responsibility. That isn't justice or protection. I knew that, yet I'd always been held back by my past. But when it counted, you trusted me, and you helped me move on. You finally lifted the curse to my past. Thank you. Why are you thanking me? You did all of that with your own power. Yanagi had acknowledged me. He was giving me credit for helping him. I wasn't just a burden or someone who just needed to be protected. And that was enough to make me happy. There was nothing that could make me happier. No, there's something that can make you happier. You just don't know it yet. The reason that I was able to put my trust in you was you. Because of how he'd acted before, I felt that I could trust him yesterday. No matter what the result would have been, I felt like I wouldn't regret that decision. If I was able to support you, it's only because you gave me the strength to do so. I declared that with complete sincerity, and Yanagi's gaze wavered. You're far stronger than you look. Aren't you afraid of me? Afraid? I wasn't sure exactly what he meant at first. Thinking back to yesterday's events, I realized what he might be referencing. Does he mean the incident that happened when I was little? It was my first encounter with Yanagi, a past that had burdened him ever since. It had to be the reason that Yanagi sometimes felt distant to me. I'm not scared. Oh, our love meter! I'm not scared. It's true that I was at the time, but the monster that appeared in my dreams was Yanagi. Yanagi had been trying to save me. He was a student, but he picked up a weapon and charged into a fight to rescue a child he didn't even know. I'm sure the memory was scary for him, too. That dream doesn't scare me anymore. After all, you're in it. I see. Oh, look at his beautiful smile. Affectionate, yeah. You love me. Yanagi faintly smiled. It looked like I had soothed his worries. I'm still scared. Yanagi, I can never forget it. The way I lost my mind. The feeling of the pipe in my hand. The smell of blood. And your terrified eyes. I never want to feel that way again. I felt like I had reclaimed my memories. The incident I was involved in 12 years ago now felt crystal clear. Yay, we get the flashback. This is going to be traumatic, but I just finished elementary school. My parents had to take care of some family business, so they brought me to Tokyo. The adults were talking about grown-up things, so I was playing nearby. I now realized it was Shinjuku Garden. Uh-huh, and it was that church, and that's, yeah. Be quiet. A stranger had grabbed my arm. He covered my mouth so I couldn't scream. Somebody help me! Huh? I made eye contact with a passing boy. He was young, around high school age, Yanagi. I immediately lost sight of him, though. Behave, you hear me? Where they found me. That's why Yanagi's like, wait. Yeah, wow. Hostage is still safe. If I don't get the ransom I asked for. Ransom? He took me to a building and bound me with chains so I couldn't move. After he finished tying me up, it seemed like the kidnapper was talking on the phone. If this works, I can finally escape from this prison of debt. I can finally live a normal life. It was a ransom kidnapping. So that was his goal. It said she was assaulted. I mean, she's literally just been kidnapped, so that's fine. I don't necessarily... Okay, beating him to within an inch of his life might be extreme, Yanagi. But you never know with people touching kids. At the time, I was too young to understand that. I'm scared. All I could do was shiver in terror. I couldn't imagine what would happen to me. Sold into child slavery, probably. Somebody help. Please. I constantly repeated that wish in my heart. I turned away so that I couldn't see the pacing kidnapper. Then I realized he was here. Hey, are you hurt? Don't worry, it'll be okay. I can't do a Yanagi voice when he's 16. It's not Yanagi voice then. The boy I made eye contact with earlier had snuck into the building. I'm gonna rescue you. The boy gripped a metal pipe tightly and charged forward at the man who had just finished his phone call. Yo! What? Who the hell are you? Let the kid go, man, or you're in for a world of hurt. Why should I? Finally gonna have some money. You should have just smashed the guy in the back of the head, knocked him unconscious, and then freed me. I'm not even finished if this doesn't work out. Who the hell cares? You kidnapped a little girl and you're trying to sell her. It's screwed up, man. It is screwed up. Way to go, Yanagi. You little shit. Ah! But the boy who had come to save me had the tables turned on him. Ha! What the hell? You're so weak. You think you're some kind of badass? You think you're strong enough to take me on? You little punk. Then he beat us with single-minded focus. Beat us both. So he is hitting me. Both me and the boy. And that's exactly what fucking pisses Yanagi off. My memories of this part were vague. I recall being hit in the back of the head, so it was probably because of that. The boy who had come to rescue me had also been captured. He was beaten to a pulp. I remembered that. You know what? In this case, in this instant, this is now it's justified. Because, like, what you were going to do, beat the guy because he kidnapped someone. Okay, that's a little excessive. You know what? He's beating you, and this literally, you came to save someone. You're getting your ass handed to you. You're getting beaten. He's beating the kid that you came to save. Yeah, you know what? No. Nope. And then you feel guilty. You feel guilty for of course, the guy, they're supposed to, I'm sure, feel bad for him. Like, well, he was in dire straits. I don't care how in debt you are. You don't kidnap and try to sell kids. It's fucked up shit. That is fucked up shit. Like, ha, 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 finally, finally. The man laughed. Oh, we're supposed to be Yanagi. The man laughed maniacally. Hey, you okay? The girl was overwhelmed by the beating. Maybe she was unconscious. It's all my fault. I failed and the kidnapper got the advantage. Till I showed up, he hadn't hit or kicked the girl. She got hurt even worse because of me. She's so tiny. The man was insane. He glared at the little girl. Hey, calling your parents to make sure you cry. So make sure you cry and beg for your life. Hey, why are you sleeping? Don't ignore me. Stop it. Just hit me instead. You think you're a big man beating up a kid? Huh? You don't get to talk to my face, punk. Okay, this guy's fucked up. You want me to show you some mercy? Then cry. Beg. He hit me in the head and I went dizzy. I was nauseous. My whole body felt like lead. We could die here. Both the girl and I were going to be killed. I knew that's how this would end. Ha! The man seems satisfied for now. He walked away from us to make another phone call. Here's the thing. How does he know the girl's parents' phone number? He doesn't even know who we are. I don't know. I started moving my chained hands without him noticing. It wasn't rope, so it didn't fully restrict my movements. I struggled to pull my wrists from the chain, loosening them a little bit at a time. Then the chain finally fell off. I have to kill him. Damn you! What? How'd you get free? Because you suck at your job. I have to kill him right now. Ah! Okay, so when it was pink, we're like, I have to kill him. That was actually Yanagi saying that. But it was pink, like it was supposed to be us. You know what I mean? And I was like, wait, what? That's weird. You know, like when we were watching it in Sadaishi's at the end, like the little teaser thing. Anyway. Stop! Stop it! Please, stop! His rage of feeling impotent, not being able to save us or himself. Like, I can't really blame him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you came in to save someone, you got your ass handed to you, she could have died, you thought you were gonna die, and like, so you're beating the guy, and even though when you could have stopped, you just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, it's a rage thing. Like, it's anger, it's pain, it's fear, and then it turns into rage, and you just keep going. Like, you see it all the time if you watch any kind of cop shows. It happens all the time in all those shows. Any kind of like cop show, like CSI, fucking Criminal Minds, fucking Law and Order. It happens in all these things, and you're like, I can see that. So yeah. When I finally came to, I woke to a gruesome sight. Ah! I'm begging you, help me! Really? Blood. Red. Forgive me. Who? God, no more, please! Yanagi could have stopped. I'm scared. Damn, okay, wow, Yanagi, Jesus. The man's cries were punctuated by thumps. It went on for a while. How he even managed to survive in a coma like that. The voice stopped? The cries had stopped, and the thumps had also stopped. Everything was quiet again. Well, and this is where we're going to see the CG of Yanagi approaching us. Oh! A shadow approached me and released me from the chains that bound my body. Back then, I had no idea what was going on. In my foggy state of consciousness, I was frozen in abject terror. Oh! Look at little baby Yanagi! You're going to be okay. That scary man is gone now. The boy smiled. He held his hand out to me. I'm sure you were scared. You must be hurting. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. I'll take you back to your family. You don't need to be scared anymore, okay? Despite his words, all I could feel was fear. I didn't know that the boy had come to help me. Are you afraid of me? He looked at me with a sad expression. I clumsily nodded. Oh. The boy's voice cracked. With these hands, Watching the boy mutter with the twisted, confused look, I passed out again. The next time I woke up, I was with my parents and Kazuki. The boy was nowhere to be found. Back then, I realized exactly what I'd done when I asked you if you were scared of me, and you nodded. I killed a man. I realized that it wasn't the man who had scared and hurt this poor girl, but me. I'd done something I could never take back. I felt horribly guilty. Turns out that I didn't kill him. He was in critical condition and barely survived. I see. In that case, I'm glad for that at least. Not because he's a kidnapper and a crazy psycho who would beat us, but really more so that you feel a little bit better about it. Although now you visit him constantly in the hospital, and that's sad. Inagi hadn't taken a life. That would ease the burden of his guilt somewhat. Not really. I was more concerned about Yanagi than I was about the fact that he'd killed before. However, he's still stuck in a coma. He can't move or talk. I may as well have killed him. He lost his life and his freedom. He would have lost his freedom anyway. Yanagi, but he'd be alive in prison. I don't know. I was acquitted for the act because I was a minor, and because it was ruled an act of self-defense. I was never interrogated by the police, and I was never placed on probation. I just returned to my carefree, normal life. But I could never really go back. I was painfully aware that normal, my old normal was no longer my reality. No matter what I did, the guilt suffocated me. Was I really allowed to keep on living? I'd taken a man's life from him. Racked with guilt, I graduated high school. I think that was when a man introduced himself to me and said he was from Police HQ. Huh? He was from the Juvenile Affairs Department. When I thought I'd had no future, he told me this. You'll always be weighed down by your sins, but if you want to atone for that guilt, we'll give you the chance. You'll save people instead of hurting them. Would you like to become a police officer? That's why you joined the police? It's kind of funny that they're like, you'll always be weighed down by your sins if you want to atone for the guilt. I mean, I understand the guilt and feeling bad because you did almost kill someone, but it's still not going to change that you're still going to have that feeling of like guilt and feeling awful about it because you went too far. But it's not like you beat him for no reason. You're still going to have that guilt, but at some point you have to go, you know what? I'm still going to feel guilty and awful because I became the bad person. Like I could have like cracked a couple of ribs or something like so that he couldn't chase us, called the cop, whatever, and saved us both. And then he would have just been injured and then in jail and he would have been fine. But at some point you have to forgive yourself and go, you know what though? Like he would have killed us. It, did you go too far? Yes. But you can't change that. And yeah, I guess you should feel a little bit guilty. You know what I mean? Because you're a better person than that guy is. Because he would have totally fucking sold you and killed you. You know what I mean? You're a better person than that, but you have to, like, at some point, like, I don't know, but it just feels weird the cops show up like, well, you're going to atone for your guilt. Like, let's simmer down here. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just the way it was phrased. It just makes it sound like they're like, well, I mean, you're pretty shady. It, I mean, I'm not saying he should feel awesome about it and go on like nothing ever happened because nobody that's a decent human being would feel that way. No matter what reasons you had for what happened, you would never be like, woohoo! You'd be like, I mean, yeah, the guy was a shady son of a bitch, but at the same time, I could have stopped and maybe, like, and even if it was 100% like he was going to kill us and it was literally fucking self defense and like he deserved to fucking die, I still feel guilty about it. He deserved to die, but I'd still feel guilty about it, you know? I mean, the guy didn't actually, like it said when she was assaulted, okay, it's because he beat her. Okay, but I was like, "Whoa, that makes it sound like what did he do?" There's a line. So like, yeah, I understand his feeling guilty, but at some point it's like you can't just hold on to that forever and be like, "I'm a horrible human being." No. No, you're a good person that was put in a horrible situation and probably took it a little too far, but Still feel guilt. I mean, that makes you a better human being than most people. Being like, I feel guilty about this. And it hurt, and I wish I hadn't gone that far, but you have to learn to forgive yourself. You didn't just beat some old lady. The guy was kidnapping children and selling them. I mean, not the highlight, not the pinnacle of society right there. I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, like the cops showing up, like, do you want to like? I mean, like, kind of pyramid scheme are the cops running here? Like, just seems so bad. They're like, so I mean, join the cop anyway. Yeah, it was part of a pilot program. I think it was under juvenile affairs. Juvenile affairs. The juvenile affairs recently implemented a program to rehabilitate young criminals. IG Yanagi was chosen as one of their test subjects in the past. I mean, that's not a bad thing though. Like, hey, do you want to like let's try to rehabilitate. I mean, he was a young delinquent. He's admitted that so much. So it's not like he was totally an upstanding kid and this happened. It was he had a rough past, and that's probably why he went a little crazy and beat this guy to within an inch of his life. You know, like, but I accepted his offer. I entered the police academy, studied, trained, and was formally inducted as an officer. My superiors recommended I get detective training, and in unprecedented time, I made Section 1. Maybe it was thanks to the rehab program. Yunagi's expression was dark as he recounted his history. There was nothing I could say either. I didn't know what words to say. I mean, glad that you got the chance to like, instead of being like thrown in jail like a juvenile offender, you know what I mean? And like ruining your whole entire life for trying to protect yourself and another kid. So, I mean, but also you could have just gone on life and been like, yeah, totally got away with killing a guy. And then it could have made you a worse human being. So, I mean, you know, I searched my heart and I voiced a thought that floated up. But I was relieved. Relieved. Yanagi wore a dubious expression on his face. I thought it was an abrupt thought, too, but I wanted him to know something. The night when I had this collar put on me, when I saw your face the night you came to help me, I felt relieved for some reason. When you told me everything would be okay, I wanted to trust you without knowing why. I just felt you were someone I could trust. Maybe all I had left of my childhood memory was the part that made the strongest impression on me. You should know, I'd never forgotten that I was saved by somebody. In my heart, I'd always known that. His face and his voice had been stained with fear, and yet, then and now, you're the one who saved me. I've always been grateful. You know what's weird, though, about this whole scenario? Like, obviously, we didn't know about. Doo doo doo. Um, we didn't know about Yanagi, like his past. But how come we've never had that brought up? We're like, I saved someone's wallet, and that's why I wanted to become a cop, blah, blah, blah. Like, it never. I mean, I guess it's because it was in the back of our mind, and it never really. But I guess this isn't. I mean, this isn't the reason why she wanted to become a cop. So, to save people. But it's just funny that this was never brought up until now. It's one of those things like, why did this, you know what I mean? It's like some traumatic past that happens and you don't find out until season 5 of a TV show and you're like, why? Because it's convenient that you wrote it in now? Was this always the plan? Because sometimes it is, but most of the time you're like, I think it's just plot convenience. I don't know. And now I want to be someone who can help you out. I was entranced by Yanagi's gentle character, the way he never gave up on his ideals. So it made me really sad when you told me to stay away from you. I want to be closer to you. Oh. Did you push me away because you felt like there was an unsettled debt between us? Yeah. Then I beg you, please, just forget all about that. You don't owe me anything. Don't constrain yourself because of me. I don't want you to be tied down by the past. Right now, I want to solve the problems that are before us with you. I don't want to be your partner only in name. I want to be closer to you. I want to know you better. I knew I was being needy and embarrassing right now, but I couldn't help myself. Fucking A, just kiss me. I wanted to say it so badly. I wanted him to know my true feelings. I see. Inagi's eyes had gone wide with surprise, but he nodded ever so slightly. His gaze softened. Uh, What have you been thinking as you've gone through life all this time? What makes you happy? No matter how small it is, I want to know it. I want to know you better too. Oh, I want to view you not as the girl I hurt in the past, but as Spacey Hoshino, the woman I see today. I don't want to see you with that sad look on your face ever again. Yanagi. Yanagi's words warmed my chest. I felt like I could finally stand by his side. Someone's going to cock block this so bad. This could be a good moment. This could be a touching kiss moment. Someone's going to walk in. And when someone has a wish granted, it can make them want to wish for something else. So, you think that because I'm your work partner? What do you mean? I already know that. What I'm saying is, that's not enough. I want to be special to you. I don't want to just be your work partner. Damn, girl. Hoshino. Yanagi was flustered, but now was the time to say it. Now that I knew he'd been holding back because of the past, now was the time. If you didn't happen to be at that place 12 years ago, I might not even be alive today. If you hadn't come to save me last month, I could have died when that collar snapped around my neck. You may have sinned in the past, but to me, you're truly someone special. I owe you my life, twice over now. Like, damn. So that's why. Huh? Yanagi had been quiet while listening to my earnest feelings and smiled in self-derision. I'm sure of it, now that I've heard that. And this is how Adonis operates. I don't believe Adonis's actions are just, but for some odd reason, I just can't seem to write them off as evil. I realized it for the first time. Just as I couldn't condemn Yanagi, it was a common theme among the people who became Adonis's pawns, including Akito. For example, Rika Sugawara was arrested as the perpetrator for the burning death on the 8th. We were having a touching moment where you should have kissed me, and now you're talking about this shit? God damn it, Yanagi. She was a stalking victim. That's probably why she was lured in by Adonis. So she could take matters into her own hands before she became a victim again. Exactly. The man who was killed was her old stalker. One of them. She's had a few. She must have thought that the police and the law couldn't protect her from him. And for someone like that, Adonis must feel like a savior, appearing just in time to release her from her fears. Wait, are you Adonis? Because that would be fucked up, Yanagi. In the July incident, Tomoki Ogata, who's still in detention, acted on her behalf. Yes, Ogata was confirmed to be innocent, so he's supposed to be released today. In other words, he had acted in self-defense. Ogata had been mistakenly arrested in the past. In May, Hanako Kobayashi took revenge on behalf of Ogata. That's how they've been taking their revenge. And this month, they acted again, knowing that they'd be captured. They executed their justice to stand against what they consider evil. That's the truth of X Day. God damn it, Kalaru, we're having a touching moment. See? Cock-blocked by Yanagi himself. The room fell into silence. A voice chimed in from the collar. Vague, hollow laws intended to protect the assailants. A world that continually breeds sorrow, in which only ideals are clear. That's the truth of the nation we live in. Do you continue to reject our ideals, despite knowing this truth? Do you intend to stop our resistance against the evil forces? I'd made up my mind. I can't stop you. No, I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, you must be stopped. Still, you must be stopped. After all, there were people suffering from guilt of their crimes like Yanagi. Like Yanagi, there were people who had committed crimes and regretted causing harm. Hurting others for the sake of your own vengeance solves nothing. Rubbing more salt in the wound would only reopen the wounds. I know that my idea of justice, where I try to save everyone that I encounter, is impossible. But that just means it's more important that I stop whatever crimes I can. Whatever the reason, I can't simply ignore people who are committing crimes. I can only help if I stop the crimes first. I want to protect Shinjuku. To do that, Adonis's terror must be stopped. What was justice? What was truly right? I didn't know for sure. But the people who lived in this town were truly important to me. And the people by my side were most important of all. I wanted to defend them. I feel the same way as Hoshino. I want to end this cycle of hatred. Like Akito Sarah, there will be others who regret supporting Adonis. I know the pain of inflicting pain upon someone with your own hands more intimately than most. That's why I don't want to let you cause any more sorrow.
He couldn't bear to cause more pain. I agree.
The voice from the collar sounded the most uncertain that I had ever heard it. It was the first time that I had heard the collar voice sound so powerless.
In any case, Spacey Hoshino, you've moved according to our expectations. No matter your current opinion of us, you possess the beliefs to become our comrade. Next, show us. No, allow me to amend that. Show me that you can reach me.
Reach you personally?
Precisely. I look forward to it.
With that, the collar fell silent. Finding the owner of that voice. Finally, it felt like we were going to uncover the whole of Adonis. Oh god, now my anxiety. I'm not even kidding. Like, I have the guide so big so that I don't see too much of what's going down below. Because I don't want to spoil anything with the answers. So, like, it's like gigantic. I can only see like the next like 3 lines. Because I don't want to know. Like, I'm like, this is gonna get spoilery. I'm like, don't look, don't look. I'm trying to only scroll up a little bit as we go. So I just decided to blow it up. So it's like, okay, I can see like the next like 2 choices, and then we have to go through a bunch of places in the police headquarters or whatever. So that's like it's like I see like 3 extra lines. I'm like, that's it. I don't want to see anything else. I'm gonna be like scrolling it up 1 line at a time because I'm like, it's gonna get. I feel like I'm just worried that it's gonna get spoilery if I look over and I'm like, because like I did it before. I looked over and I'm like, oh, when we're in chapter 4, and I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna have to go trigger mode it. But we were talking to Akito, and I was like, oh god, we're not gonna have to shoot him, are we? And it's freaking me out. So I was like, I need to just not be able to see as much of it because I'm gonna do that. Like, where I was like 1 choice ahead, but I was like reading that, and I'm like, oh god, we're gonna have to shoot Akito. I mean, we didn't, obviously, but it was freaking me out, so now I'm like, don't be spoilery. Don't look. Anyway, I can still see the next 2 choices, but Adonis will have other pawns beside the ones that have already been arrested, and the X-Day crimes are sure to continue. Yes, HQ is searching for additional suspects based on that same assumption. Oh, we can't be content with detaining them. Oh, we need to cut even deeper into Adonis. Right. It was time. It was time to aim at the heart of Adonis. To do that, suddenly there was a loud noise outside. Yanagi and I looked up in surprise. Okazaki?
I told you not to go in while they were busy. I stayed like
You should stop while you can. I don't care. Urgent business here.
Well, still.
Out of my way. Yanagi. Morioka. The door flew open and Morioka stormed into the office. We stood up reflexively and Morioka managed to rein himself in. We're almost at the deadline. The higher-ups are losing their patience. Plans are underway to fabricate charges against people who have perfect alibis and round them all up. Yanagi, what? No. What does everyone here know? How close are you to Adonis? Morioka directed an intense gaze at us. It seemed to burn right through me. Or perhaps, maybe you have some connection to them. Those words were difficult to take lying down, but we couldn't tell him the truth right now. Naturally, he suspects us. If he examined me, he'd find the collar. We have no idea what you're talking about. Shh, be quiet. She has a collar on. It'll kill her if they knows you know. We're going to find Adonis, like, via the collar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think, Morioka? Yanagi seemed completely unfazed by Morioka's line of questioning. You're like, seriously? Like, we're gonna be in cahoots with Adonis? It's pretty fucking obvious, dude. Like, we're not that stupid. I would hope. But then again, I mean, Sadaishi is. He's pretty out in the open, so I mean, we can't tell you our circumstances. We aren't doing anything unsavory. I assure you, we remain true to our ideals. So, are Hoshino and I innocent or guilty? What do your instincts tell you, Morioka? You're innocent. There was no hesitation in Morioka's voice or expression as he stated his conclusion. At the Metropolitan Office viewing platform yesterday, spoke to eyewitnesses. You did your best to save both the suspect and hostage. You haven't changed a bit. Morioka. Morioka's expression had softened. I can't do Morioka's voice anymore because I was supposed to be. I've seen some shit. Yeah, but I can't really do his voice anymore. Like, I can't. It hurts too much. But Morioka's expression had softened. It showed that he trusted Yanagi. You've always hated hurting other people. You could never be colluding with Adonis. And by the looks of things, you trust her, don't you? Yes. Morioka, a long time ago you told me something. A detective's job is to be suspicious. He can do that any time. Trusting someone is much more difficult. There's no shame in hesitating to do so, but trust your gut when the moment counts. Even if you're wrong, keep your faith. Don't rely on others' assessments. Proceed with the intent to shoulder all responsibility. That's a lot of shit to remember that someone told you. Like, legit. Like, one time you told me to, like, trust my gut. Like, you paraphrase. You literally just said word for word something he told you years ago, and you're like, that's like a paragraph. How did you remember that? Jesus. I did say that, didn't I? I still believe in those words. Even now, I still hold them in high regard. I don't want to bring shame to your ideals. Damn it. Yeah, you're telling the truth. It's just the kind of guy you are. Even still, Yanagi, keeping me in the dark is causing problems. If there's anything you know, I can't tell you. Yanagi firmly interrupted Morioka in the middle of his sentence. Yanagi picked up a pen. He scrawled something on a notepad and hastily showed it to Morioka. Morioka stared in surprise when he read the message. They're listening. That was what Yanagi had written. Fine. Suppose there's no way to make you budge. He indicated that he understood. Morioka sighed. Sorry, Morioka. Don't do anything too crazy. I'll try not to. Damn it, man. With a final invective, Morioka left the office. Yanagi turned to follow Morioka, but paused in the doorway. Okazaki.
What?
I need you to escort Hoshino.
Sir, yes, sir. Can I make a move on her this time?
Absolutely not. I'll put you in the pen.
Pen, a slang term that refers to the jail cells at the police station in the modern day. In English, it's short for penitentiary. In Japanese, it used to reference the fact that it looked like a pig pen.
It's funny. Oh? Okazaki blinked. He made eye contact and then he grinned, like he just understood something.
Did you two make up?
Well, yes, probably. Were we fighting?
Oh, that's good. I shall politely escort her home then.
There was a lot I still wanted to discuss with Yanagi, but I decided to stifle it now. He'll probably have a talk with Morioka after this. I couldn't stay here, or Adonis would hear everything they said. And then I'll head back to the station now. All right, I'll contact you later. Okay. Yanagi gave me a cheerful smile, which eased my worries a bit. We had a perfect kiss opportunity, and he started talking work and shop, and now it... God. Yanagi! Cock blocked yourself. Oh, now that I think of it, it's still morning. I realized what time it was after I left to follow Morioka. It was bright out, and many people were here. I didn't think I needed an escort. I can go back to work on my own. There's no need for you to go out of your way.
Nope. Request denied, per Yanagi's wishes.
Denied? Okazaki was chuckling, of course. There was probably no convincing him. Still, it felt like he had grown to trust Yanagi considerably more. Did he explain anything? Still, I couldn't verify that, so as long as I was wearing the collar. No, good timing, sir! I went shopping! Welcome back, Yoshinari. Yoshinari rushed over, a crinkling convenience store bag in his hand. Good to see you too, Miss Hoshino. Hello. All right then, sir. Check this out. It's a new product. You were curious about the curry candy, right? I bought a bunch of them. Ugh. It's not really what I expected. Oh, really? And they had horse meat ice cream as well. Ugh! But it's way too cold for that, so I passed on it. What? That sounds way more interesting. What's this? Look, it's a curry melon pastry. He uses curry as a background to bring out the other flavors. That could work. Sounds good. He is so fucking mental. I can't even. Would you like to try any, Miss Hoshino? I bought a lot. Help yourself. Oh, no thanks. I'm not hungry and that makes me want to vomit. She didn't say that last part. I added it. I'd probably pass even if I was hungry. I was relieved to see some normal-looking onigiri in the bag, too. Oh, really? Too bad. You got shot down, Yoshinari. Why are you so unpopular with the ladies? Your stats aren't bad. Seriously? They always say something like, Yoshinari, I'm so happy to be friends with you. What the heck, man? Oh, poor Yoshinari. Yep, that's definitely the vibe you give off. You didn't have to agree. Oh, right, Miss Hoshino. Yes? What do you think I'm lacking? Huh? What? I had no idea how to respond. Shouldn't you ask someone who knows you better, Yoshinari? When I looked to Okazaki for help, he seemed to be seriously considering the question. Well, an open mind, like Yanagi's. I have that. I'm totally open-minded. No. You definitely aren't. An instant and complete denial. He's way more tolerant than you in every way. Hey, you should give up on her. What? This chat was taking an unexpected turn. No, Miss Hoshino. I'm not trying to make a move on you. Now. She's already taken anyway. What are you guys talking about? Please don't ask them. Just walk away. About how well you and Yanagi get along. Oh. I wanted to believe it was true. Right now, he was the person I felt I could rely on the most. He was special to me, and I wanted to be with him, I think. Wait, huh? Was Okazaki teasing me because he could see how I felt about Yanagi? Let's just not think about that right now. Mentally, I was firmly shaking my head. Right, this wasn't the time. Speaking of which, shouldn't you be guarding the team instead of me? Yeah. Those guys aren't so weak that they need us to protect them. After tossing off a flippant response, Okazaki grinned. Besides, I'm happy that he's been relying on me so much lately. Like now, for example. It was true that Yanagi's group had been very wary of Okazaki when I first met them. But now Yanagi was entrusting Okazaki with all kinds of tasks. I was pleased to see him so thankful that he was being utilized. Then, I suppose I'll indulge you. Yep, do that. I also heard a little bit about your situation from Yanagi. He probably didn't tell me everything, but I am fine with knowing that much. You're someone special to Yanagi's team, the police, and the ringleader of the X-Day crimes, aren't you? My entire body reflexively stiffened. Thankfully, the color didn't react. I figured. In that case, I'll protect both you and Yanagi. Thank you, Okazaki. He didn't know my exact circumstances, and I didn't know Okazaki's true reasons for going this far out of his way for me. But Yanagi had placed his trust in him, so I wanted to trust him too. Okazaki, I'm not following what you're talking about. Maybe it's beyond your capacity, Yoshinari. That's why you're not popular with the ladies. Say what? Come on now. If we dally here too long, Spacey will be late. We need to get going. I'm coming with you, sir. Besides, nobody's at the office now anyway. Thanks. I didn't really get why, but it looked like Yoshinari would also be accompanying us. Feels like a waste to have 2 SP officers escorting me. Besides, I was an active duty officer. Felt like thinking about this was going to give me a headache, so I didn't bother. I think I'm gonna wrap this part up here. Just because it's getting close to time. So yeah. Yeah. So we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.